Now, just a couple days ago, I dropped a video talking a little bit about the characters I would like to see brought into Star Wars from the old expanded universe, now called Legends. And one of the characters on the thumbnail never made it into the video, although he's probably one of my favorite characters. It's just I felt like at the time when I made that video that there were other characters that would fit into the current story more. But if you go back and look at that thumbnail, we have the one and only Darth Revan. So what we are doing today is unboxing the brand new 6th scale figure of Darth Revan from Hot Toys. Now this is the Sideshow collectible edition. So it comes with a few other pieces that you will see in the video. So first off, let's take a look at that outer box. This is a iconic pose by Darth Revan. You have seen this probably on YouTube. You have seen this probably in any type of video game image. He is standing there with his arms crossed with the purple lightsaber and the red lightsaber. Now, if you don't know too much information about this character, I will be making a video all about Darth Revan coming very, very soon. This here is the inside cover of the box once you remove the top. And again, you can see very, very well detailed, and yet just another amazing shot. And Darth Revan was always one of those characters that always liked to hold his lightsabers in an unfashioned type way. And this enabled him to bring the lightsaber forward toward his foe very, very quickly with just a flick of his wrists. And now here is what the actual figure looks like in the box. And you can see here, this is a medallion of some type of coin, which we'll be opening up. I believe that is one of the exclusives for the Sideshow edition. And I know it's a little bit hard to see because he's wrapped up in plastic.
She's dead. Wrapped in plastic.
But we're going to definitely unwrap this guy and we'll try to pose him up today. All right, guys, while I sit here and try to unbox this for you guys, if you could do me a massive favor, smash that like, subscribe if you're new, and check out channel memberships for only $2.99 a month. You can help support the channel, and here on the screen you can see all of the benefits you get. Thank you so much to all the channel members. Each and every Sideshow figure comes with an instruction booklet that does tell you how to kind of put some of the items together, and it kind of unfolds, and you can kind of see here. Typically I don't really use it, to be honest with you, but sometimes it is nice in case you get stuck. And in this case, it is a little different system as far as mounting him against the stand. So I'm curious to see how that's going to end up playing out here. And then it also shows you the grips to use for the lightsabers. So we'll use this if needed, but typically I don't really even use it. And then again, here is the actual figure in the box. And we're going to just go ahead and open this thing up. All right, so the figure itself is looking pretty nice. See, there's the head and the chest plate. This is really, really nice material right here. And then the cape is pretty thick, so it's nice. Got some tears at the back, like he's been through some wars. So there's usually like a little plastic around here. So I already put this hand back in. So the right hand went back in very, very easily. This one actually took me a couple tries, and I still feel like it's actually a little loose. I'm probably going to end up switching the hands out anyways. So I didn't really want to mess with it too much because, again, I don't want to break it because I've done that more than once. But overall, like I said, the figure, it's pretty typical as far as the movements. They really have done a nice job with being able to like really pose it differently. You know, I mean, you can almost twist this thing almost any way that you'd want. So there is Darth Revan. And now we're going to go ahead and go through the accessories it comes with. It comes with different types of lightsaber blades. Again, if you know anything about the character, he always did use different types of hilts. And remember, too, part of Revan, his journey, is that he did start off as a Jedi. and eventually turns to the dark side. And I think, if I'm remembering correctly in lore, he actually ends up coming back. Again, I'm gonna break this whole thing down in another video, so I may be off on some of that. It's been a while since I did a deep dive on this character, and seeing this figure, knowing it came in the mail, is really got me excited about learning more and just kind of revisiting the book, Darth Revan. It's a very, very good book. It's been probably a good 5 or 6 years since I read it, so I don't know how much of that I really remember. But again, I'm going to be deep diving into this character. So here is the first hilt. Now this one has got some type of attachment. I'm assuming what that's going to end up being for is, I think these will light up. So I think the blades will actually light. And then here is the other hilt. So I think what this is going to be is this one is going to actually be able to get lit, where this one is kind of going to be maybe if you just want them holding a hilt with no blade. So I'm assuming that's why we got 2 of these. The next 2, and we have the same type of situation where we have this one with the cord, and then this one is without the cord. So again, the hilt difference that he carried, you can see here, they're a little different. This one's almost like this one kind of looks like Darth Maul, to be honest with you. And then this one is definitely a little fancier, or whatever you want to call it, because it has the jagged edges. But again, those are the 2. Here's a little closer look at these hilts. Again, you can kind of see the difference. And I think having the 2 hilts really does try to play on that personality of kind of his Jedi and Sith side. Next, let's dive into these blades. Now, there's usually 2 kinds. So we have like the action one. Now, I know on camera it looks a little bit like the same. This is actually going to be red, and this one is going to be your purple. So again, if you want him to look like he's actually swinging the saber, then you would use these. And then we have the regular straight edge blades. So we have the red one here. Now again, on camera, it's a little hard, but it actually is thicker here than it is at the end. So I kind of like that detail. Now, a lot of times lightsabers aren't like that, because a lot of times these come and they will just be, one smooth, regular size all the way down, where these are definitely not. And again, I know it's a little hard to see in camera there, but we do have a thinner edge compared to here. And so there is the purple. All right, next up, we're going to open that coin. So the coin, I do believe, is part of the exclusive with Sideshow. So here is a look at the coin. Now, I like the Star Wars side being pretty smooth overall. The side with Revan on it is definitely a little more on the bumpy side. So you're definitely not going to want to use this coin to flip for a coin toss or something like that, because it's probably not weighed correctly. But for a card holder, it would definitely work great. And I can't wait to take this to Vegas when I play cards, and I will be using this for sure. And you can see up here, it is printed where it says Darth Revan on the top, and then down here it says Sith Empire. All right, next up, we have some more hands to go through, and we are going to look at these. Now, they all come very, very similar as far as the way they look, with the black and the bronze. So everything will match perfectly depending upon what hands you would like to use. So one is wide open, probably like if he's going to try to use the Force. There you go. And then the other one is your closed grip. More than likely, you're going to be able to use that to hold the lightsaber hilt. All right, and then the other side is exactly the same. So we have the same 2. We have the one using the Force, and we also have the grip using the hilt. So chances are I'm going to have him hold the lightsaber in both hands. I'm probably going to go with both fists. Although I do like that. I do like this hand if you're going to have him only hold one. The hands he has on right now, like I said, they are just your kind of your basic, typical grip. I don't think he's holding anything with this. They're just kind of open, and they're not as open as this one. So for right now, I'm probably going to go ahead and switch this thing over to the fists in a moment. So here is the little battery pack. Now, it's funny that they switched to this. I wonder what the reasoning is. Maybe because you can plug both of them in here, and actually, as I'm looking, you can. Now, again, on camera, it's going to be a little hard to see, but you can kind of see the two openings right there. So most characters come with one lightsaber, so they will have the batteries inserted into like their forearm here. And because this one you can use two, this is probably why they decided to do this kind of style instead of just going ahead and putting them into both arms. So there you go. I don't know if it's a cheaper way to do it. Maybe it's better. The only concern I have are those wires, but I'm assuming that we're going to be able to hide those somehow. And then finally, the only other thing I see, except for the stand, is we have a couple extra of the little ball joints. So these go in the hands. So if you do happen to break them, you have a couple extras. And then we actually have two little pieces that we're hiding in the corner here. I'm not sure what this is going to be. This might go with the lightsabers, but they're just like little plastic black pieces here. And I'm not exactly sure what these are for, but I'm assuming it's probably going to be some type of clip. And we'll kind of have to go through the instructions to see exactly how that works. And then finally, we got the stand. So the stands are always very, very Star Warsy, like kind of like this. Looks like the floor of like when Luke and Vader fought in Empire, and then the nameplate, which I haven't taken the plastic off, but that's basically what the nameplate looks like. And it just says Darth Revan, and then it says Legends. And then finally, we have the little stand. And I think that these actually, now that I'm looking, because I think in the instructions we did see that those somehow will attach to this. We'll find out. So just a quick review on all the accessories. A little light, to be completely honest with you. I believe the only real thing that was an exclusive here is the coin. I don't think there's anything other than that, unless it's the light up part. That I'm not 100% sure. I would have to go back and actually look, but I thought there was one more thing, so it could be that. I'm not really sure though, guys. I'll be completely honest with you. But the coin is pretty cool, and usually it's like a $10 upgrade to get one of these exclusives. They usually do like a deluxe exclusive. Like I said, the sideshow one I think was just a coin. We're gonna go ahead and switch out these hands here, and I'll kind of show you guys how to do that. So typically you just kind of hold the wrist area. Now I'll show you what the inside of this arm looks like. It's interesting. It doesn't look like an arm because he does have this entire wrist guard right here. So all we're going to do is kind of hold and pull. And literally, that's what the arm is. A little disappointing. I mean, it's just usually it like at least looks like an arm. But again, I get it. If you're going to just use this anyways, what's the point? And I'm not sure if anyone would actually use that without the wrist guard, because that it does make the character. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put his fist on, and we're going to make sure we have it on the right one. We don't want him holding this lightsabers not correctly. All right, so with this fist went on pretty nice actually. So again, there's your fist. And again, very good like flexibility in the wrist and everything. So there's that one, and now we'll do this one. So this is always the problem. This one, and like I told you, I was having issues with this. But this one here, it actually came out completely. So this one did not, this one did. So now I got to sit here and play around with this piece to try to get it out, or just go ahead and open up these spares and just use that. And I'll be completely honest with you, it's probably the better way to do it. Because if you start using some type of grip to kind of pull on this, then now you're going to smash that little piece there, and it may end up not even working. And I'm kind of playing around with it. It's definitely not coming out. So I'm just going to open up the other ones, and we'll put the fist in. All right, so after 3 or 4 minutes, I finally got it in. It was going in fine, but I could tell it wasn't all the way in. So what I did is I ended up holding his back of his elbow, and I really, really was pushing hard. So we have the fists. Got him making this boxing pose right now. So again, you can really do a lot. That's the one thing with these figures. They've really, really improved that over the last couple of years with the ability to really move those arms to whatever position you want. All right, so we're going to go ahead and put the hilts in. And this is where I might have to actually go through the instructions just a little because I want to make sure I do that right so we can go ahead and light these lightsabers up. So as far as the stand, this part just slides in, and now we have the stand complete. So fairly simple there. All right. So what I like to do when I do set these figures up is I like to put them on the stand because it just makes it a little bit easier. For the sake of this video, because if I put this down here, you're not going to be able to see much but his head. I'm going to go ahead and remove the stand right now, and I'm just going to go and hold the figures. I think it's going to be easier for you guys to see it. I'll give you some close-ups as we work through this as well. So the first thing we're going to do is I do want to look through the instructions very quickly, and I'm going to see how those hilts are actually connected to that little fuse box or little electrical box, which is probably ran by a battery or whatever. So I will go take care of that really quick, and I'll be right back. All right, now what I'm trying to do is actually not in the instructions, but I feel like it's going to work. So I'm trying to feed the wire through the wrist guard. You can kind of see it there. And I'm trying to bring it to the back, which is going to be the back of the cloak right here. And that way it's kind of hidden because they really just have it dangling straight down his arm, but I don't like that you can see it. So I'm going to try to feed that in there. And I do have him with a reverse grip right now. We'll see what it looks like. All right, so it did take a little bit of time, maybe like 10 minutes, just to kind of get it the way I wanted it to. Again, it's first pose, just going to kind of like play around with it a little bit. But you can kind of see what I'm going for. So I'm trying to have him lean this way. I am going to have to turn his head at some point. And I kind of got the front one up here like this. And then the back hilt is behind him. So I'm trying to get the glow in front and behind. Again, it will take some adjustments once I actually get it on the stand. As far as the wires, to kind of show you what I did, is I fed it through right here, and it kind of goes in behind his cloak. So if I lift up his cloak, you'll see both wires. So you can see them right there. So what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to, I was looking at these rings, right? These little rings right here. It would have been cool to like maybe have two more back here where you can actually feed these in. I mean, you might be able to use these. It's possible. I just don't know. I mean, I guess I could try to put it in there. I mean, it might fit actually, and that way it would stay straight behind him. Let's see. So it actually does go in. So we could actually use this because it will go in. It'd probably be easier if I try to do this when he's with it laying down. But let's see. I think I got it. It's a little tight. I'm trying to see if it'll actually go through that ring. I'm actually going to lay it down and do it because it's just not cooperating here. It does go through. So actually, I don't know if that's what it's actually for, or if that just happens to be part of the of his tunic or whatever. But you can see I do have a go behind. So now you can see it's kind of nice and flush, and then the cape will cover it. And then this one, I mean, I could probably get that through the exact same ring. So again, not in the instructions. I'm just kind of like working with what I got. And that way, when the cape is down, they're probably going to be a little more sealed. Now, I know I was trying to get it where the shoulder blade would actually be exposed, but then you can see the wire. You can see it like right in here. Now, again, against the black cape, if I lift it, you can see it. I might be able to get that a little more hidden. Again, it's just a matter of playing around with it, but I was trying to get that right shoulder forward to kind of see the plate itself. Again, once it's on the stand, you can really pose it much nicer than what it is right now. But I do have it pretty well concealed where you can't really see it. Again, I think it's more or less because of the way that it was designed to have the two lightsabers. Now, one part that I'm a little confused on because I was looking at this, I think you have to have your own USB charging cord for this because I don't see anything in here that would charge this. The only other thing I have are, like I said, are those clips, and the clip actually allows it to connect to the stand, or you can actually connect it into his back. So if you didn't want it on the stand, you could still use it. Now I keep all my figures on stands, so I'm going to attach it to the stand, but that's kind of the way it works. So there you go. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to try to attach these lightsabers to the power source, and I will be back and I will show you what the full thing looks like on the stand. All right, so bear with me here. There's no light, but I wanted to kind of show you guys really what the lights look like plugged in. So this is before I put it on the stand. And, I know on camera it probably doesn't look like a true red or purple, but in person it definitely is. And it has a really, really nice glow. And I'll be honest with you, it is better than the battery packed ones that go into their arms. So again, you can kind of see his face is here and how the pose is kind of working, where you can kind of see it in the back as well. So we'll get this thing on the stand. I'll get the lights back on so you guys can really kind of see the pose. And but yeah, so far so good. Again, I know it's not the best lighting to be able to see the lightsabers. I will toss the lights on here in just a minute, but you can kind of get the idea of what I was going for. You'll be able to see the foot position a little bit better when I do toss the lights back on. And I will take some close-ups. So at the end of the video, you'll really be able to get a gauge of what it looks like and kind of what I was going for. So let me toss these back on real quick. And you guys can kind of take a look at the actual pose. So if I'm going to move it a little closer, you can see that on the legs, I'm going to kind of prop it up so you can kind of really see the legs. So I did pose as one leg forward. Now, ideally, I would like this to be on the other side, as he's kind of bending over on his knee. And again, it's not a work in progress. I definitely have to kind of play around with it a little bit to get exactly how I was thinking. But ideally, this would be, kind of more on this side of his knee because he's bending it so much. So I might have to rebend a little bit. Again, his arm, he's got the one right in front of his chest guard with the purple. And then if we swing him around to the back, you can see how I've kind of have it going right behind his head. Again, ideally, I wanted it around over his shoulder, which it kind of is. You just can't see it as well as I thought you might be able to. But yeah, so there you go, guys. So we have Darth Revan. How am I going to rate this figure as he's falling over? I would say I would go probably a solid 8 out of 10. I do like the double lightsabers. It's better than I thought it was going to be honest, because I thought I was going to have wires everywhere. Now, it doesn't come with the USB-C, which isn't a huge deal. I have a ton of them laying around. But now you do have to plug it in. And one of the issues I have is that I have them in a case, and I don't think there's a hole in the back for me to plug it in. I'm going to have to really take a look at this. Again, most of the time, I have lights shining down on them. I don't really have those sabers lit all that often. So, it kind of just depends what you would think you want to do with these kind of figures. But I do like having them. This is now my, I believe, 8th. I have 7 Star Wars and I have 1 Marvel. And I have 1 more on the way here in the next month or so. So, guys, let me know what you think down in the comments about Darth Revan, the Sideshow exclusive 6-scale figure. Thanks a lot for watching this video. Don't forget to keep those heads on, and I'll see you guys in the next video.